عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا بكم جميعا. بس حابين نتأكد هل الصوت واضح؟ رح نبدأ الاجتماع، رح نبدأ الورشة إن شاء الله بعد قليل. فهل الأمور واضحة؟ الصوت واضح؟ المشاركين مستعدين؟ هل الصوت مناسب؟ يسرنا ويشرفنا أن نرحب بكم مجددا في ورشة جديدة ضمن سلسلة برامج مبادرة المجتمع المهني للذكاء الاصطناعي، المبادرة التي نطمح دائما من خلالها إلى بناء مجتمع معرفي متكامل بكل ما يتعلق بالذكاء الاصطناعي. واليوم نلتقي في هذه الورشة تحت عنوان صفوف دراسية جاهزة للمستقبل، استخدام أدوات الذكاء الاصطناعي في هندسة الأوامر. وباسمي واسمكم جميعا أرحب بالدكتورة أوتا دي، رئيسة شؤون الذكاء الاصطناعي. كما يسعدنا اليوم بأن يدير هذه الورشة الأستاذ حمد الخياري، رئيس قسم التوعية والخدمات الرقمية. نتمنى لكم رحلة معرفية ملهمة، ونذكركم بأنه يمكنكم طرح أسئلتكم أثناء اللقاء عبر الرابط المتاح في الدردشة، حيث سيتم الرد عليها خلال الوقت المخصص في هذه الجلسة. شكرا لكم جميعا، والكلمة لك أستاذ الفاضل حمد الخياري.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن شاء الله يكون الصوت واضح. سيتم عرض هذه الورشة اليوم إن شاء الله باللغة الإنجليزية، لذلك ستكون المحاور جميعها باللغة الإنجليزية، وسوف تقوم الدكتورة أوتا بعرض جميع التفاصيل. لذلك سوف نبدأ مباشرة بالورشة باللغة الإنجليزية إن شاء الله. Welcome everyone to our workshop on AI in education. We are very lucky actually to have with us today a special guest, an international trainer with lots of experience using AI to support teaching and learning. Ota D is a keynote speaker, Chief AI Officer from IQRA, which is a division of Mercy United LLC International Company. Ota is a globally recognized as AI strategist and Chief AI Officer, passionate about helping educators unlocking the power of agentic AI to inspire the next generation. With over 16 years of experience leading groundbreaking AI initiatives across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, Ota has played a key role in shaping national AI policies, advancing the role of technology in education. As Chief AI Officer at IQRA AI company, Ota focuses on developing AI agents that make learning more accessible, engaging, and future-ready. She's a proud contributor to Oman's Vision 2040, and she's been working with the national programmer, which is, we called here in Oman, Nazdaher, where she helped educate AI strategy, executive training, and educational innovation, helping position Oman as a global technology leader. Ota's work centers around empowering teachers and students alike, showing how AI can serve as a creative partner in the classroom, not a replacement. Her approach emphasizes ethical, responsible, and human-centered AI adoption, blending cutting-edge technology with timeless principles of mentorship and learning. She's also fluent in different languages. She's fluent in English, German, Italian, and currently she's working toward fluency in Arabic. So maybe in the coming workshops we can speak in Arabic with her, hopefully. Ota brings a global perspectives and deep love for education into every talk, workshop, and engagement. She has delivered keynotes and training sessions for ministries, educators, and industry leaders across multiple continents. Today, Ota is excited actually to share how simple, smart AI tools, starting with just the right prompts, prompt engineering, which can transform learning for every student in every school across Oman and beyond. So, Ota, Floors is yours. Please.
Okay, well, I'm delighted to be here this morning. Thank you so much for the introduction. I think we have a little slide to just look at technical setup for this session to make sure everything is going well. And I think Khalid is going to introduce that.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Hello, everyone. And please comment if you cannot hear me, whether you hear me or not in the chat. Firstly, thank you for joining us in this workshop. My name is Khalid. I'm here to support you if you are facing any issue. As you noticed, the microphone and mic disabled for everyone. So the chat will be our communication channel. Please write your issue clearly in the chat. We are going to enable the mic during the question and answer session. So to that time, we will ask you to raise your hand if you have any question. That's all. And Dr. Oda, mic with you.
Thank you so much, Khalid. So I hope everybody has understood that. I don't want to spend too much time on the introductions and all of the other things. I really want to go into the session and make this a very interactive session. This is for your benefit. You're the most important people here. You, the teachers, you enable the the youth of Oman, which is our future, the AI future. Okay, so very quick introductions then. I am the Chief AI Officer of ICRA. I am the first AI officer in this country. I'm very proud of that title, but you will see more of us. There's going to be a very quick progression. I'm the Chief AI Officer of ICRA, which is a division of Mercy United, and I specialize in anything AI and educating our team on AI matters. Okay, so let's get into this. This is you. What you're seeing right now is you, a teacher supported by some kind of robotic assistant. And by the end of the session, I don't want you to have a robotic assistant. I want you to have 2 robotic assistants and be fully confident in the use of creating your own assistants. So that's a big ask. That's what we're looking for. The title session today is Utilizing AI Prompt Engineering. That's a big title, but really what we want to do is we want to educate you all in how to make your classroom future ready. Okay, so what can you do as teachers, wherever you may be, in Ibri, in Sur, or wherever you are in Oman, throughout the entire country, what can you do with very limited means, but still get on to the train of what is AI. Let's look at that. Quickly, who we are. So we are the first AI company here in Oman concentrating on agentic AI. What is agentic AI, you may ask? We specialize in creating and coding agents, AI agents. You will see them everywhere over the next few years. Within the next year or so, you probably are using agents already without realizing it. But that is what we do. That is what me and my team specialize in coding and creating for anybody. For schools, for the health sector, for the property sector. There is no single area, industry sector, that does not need AI agents. But you probably are using them already whenever you use your bank or whenever you call Omantel or Ooredoo or any of the telecom companies, you would already be dealing with AI agents. So briefly, that is what we do. We are proud to be the AI partner of Ooredoo. We're doing a lot of work with them, but we also work in the UAE. There's more and more pull on the amazing AI engineers that Oman has. And I cannot praise the people that I work with high enough. They're probably some of the best AI engineers I've ever worked with. And most of them are ladies. Okay, what do? We have concentrated on providing bilingual agents, AI agents, so both Arabic and English, and you will see more and more of that. There's also a large language model available in Arabic soon that we're working on. We support teachers with a whole load of agents. We have something for student wellbeing monitoring. We provide, and I have some pictures for you later, we provide AI and entrepreneurship training, and everything that we do is locally developed. We're an Omani company working here in Oman for Oman. And that's very important. We're not some global entity just coming in. We're here. Okay, so quick picture. This is quite recent, over the last 6 months, where I had the privilege and the honor of educating a whole load of ministry officials from a national program in the use of AI. And it's not just AI that we now need to teach and be experts in. It's also things like project management, agile. What does agile actually mean? And all of those skills need to be learned. Good project management, good AI skills, all of those things together will form new companies. And that's going to happen more and more and more. The AI age right now is an age of entrepreneurship. So you as teachers have the admirable task of teaching the youngsters what entrepreneurship actually means. Take a good idea and then monetize it. What can we do with this idea in order to create jobs and in order to form companies? That will happen very quickly, and youngsters need to be taught those skills. We're very proud that we already achieved regional recognition. So just last week I was in the UAE and I met with the UAE's AI company, a major player in the region, and they want to partner with us. We have a large tech leadership audience and we have an amazing program for interns. I have all Omani interns, most of them again ladies, but also 2 boys from several universities here called Ignite, which is our internship program, which we run in exactly the same way as anybody doing an internship program at Google or any of the large players or NVIDIA would do. And I'm very proud of this program. And people have actually come back from the UK. Omani students from the UK have come back to Oman in order to intern with us. So we're going places and it's wonderful to see. All right. Now, let's get into the subject. What is agentic AI? You hear the phrase all the time. Agentic AI is an AI agent. It's an agent that, think of it like your new best friend. That is an AI agent. In the mornings when I come into the office, I will have team meetings with my physical staff, but I also have meetings with all of my AI agents. There's currently 11, possibly even 14 that I use for different purposes, that I have coded with different things. And that is how my morning meeting starts. And they're doing work on my behalf, because I have told them to do certain tasks. And each and every single one of you could potentially have their own team of agents. In another couple of years, we'll be talking about that a whole load more. All right, and how does that work practically? So you as a teacher, once you've coded yourself an agent, have an AI agent that has smart detection, it sources your data, it has visual explanations on the screen as you teach that will speak and show things that you are speaking about to your students. There's a lot of interactive things going on, and the student obviously sees that. So, for example, you are teaching a lesson on the human heart. an anatomy lesson on the human heart, and the agent would pick up on your voice and show the human heart on the screen. So that's how this is going to work a whole load more. So you will have help on your hands. You won't be permanently tasked with every single task in the classroom, but you have agents who can help you. So that's amazing news for teachers who are constantly overworked and challenged and need to do 50,000 things at any one time. All right, so that's the future. Let's get into the topic. Prompt engineering is what we're going to talk about today. What is prompt engineering? You can see here the picture of a coding screen. You have that on any single computer screen. Prompt engineering is what you could do yourself. Anybody who's ever looked at basic coding languages like Python is the basic coding language for any large language models. So most AI agents are built in Python with a whole load of other things. It's a form of automation. And today's session is the beginning of something really pretty spectacular. It's Oman's own AI movement, and you, the educators, are at the forefront of that. So this session is for you to understand what can be done, what is possible, even get own ideas. By the end of this session, I want to have lots of questions from you, because if this is meant to do anything, it's to teach you, it's to educate you, and it's to make a whole load of dreams possible. Potentially AI can do that. I've seen more dreams realized over the last 6 months in the people around me, in my own family, in people that I teach, in the team that I lead, in the agents that we develop, than at any other time before. Let's talk about Oman's vision for AI. So we spoke earlier about NASDAHA, the national program, where we did a whole load of AI teaching. To my knowledge, there's been some amazing results of that. I know of 3 projects that won prizes, formed their own little companies, and those are running. Those are programs that have existed not before, but only because of the AI teaching of somebody having a good idea, developing that idea with AI, with good prompt engineering, good project management, good agile practices, and then moving it forward. I've talked earlier about dreams. I'm a dreamer. I can get the best ideas when I'm here in Oman. I look at the beautiful landscape, or I go to the beautiful opera, the Sultan's opera. That's how I get ideas. And these ideas then can very quickly be developed into something tangible, something practical, something that can be used. And build a company, or build another team, or build a new product. And that's the new life. That is everybody's reality as of now. You could all do that. Let's talk about prompt engineering. I've given you a little example already. So prompt engineering is nothing more and nothing less than creating something with AI that can be used to form an agent, form an idea, form a project, form a company. And that is called prompt engineering. So it's the human language that gets translated into code, into Python code, but you don't have to do anything. That's the beautiful thing of it. You just need to think very precise, and we will teach you in a little while how to write your first few prompts. So that's going to be the result of what we're learning today. It's empowering. It certainly is something that will help you, guide you, and form a whole load new ideas. Let's think even bigger than just the classroom and who you're educating every single day. I can't stress it enough. Prompt engineering is probably the most important thing to learn in terms of AI. I often get questions and criticism when people say, oh, but AI didn't do this, or AI didn't do that. Well, yes, but what did you put into the AI? It's just a machine. It's a very clever machine, but it's just a machine. So what have you done in order to tell that machine exactly what you want it to do? So the machine can only be as good as the input. Good input in, good input out. Not so precise input in, not so precise input out. We've all heard the criticism about bad AI images, but that's because the input wasn't very good. If you're very precise, amazing images can be done with AI. So let's look further into this and see what we can do in order to get to a good prompt by the end of this session. And it would be really great if, as we're going through these slides, you already start to think of what your favorite topic is, of what your favorite idea is, and then let's start crafting some prompts. So the more questions you can ask, the better, and we will try and get to all of the questions in order as you put them in. So start thinking already. Okay, so any prompt engineering has a workflow. I've here given you a workflow for any school in Oman of how a teacher, any teacher, could use a good prompt to help him to automate his workflow and to help him come up with something that can be used. So he would first of all identify the learning objectives. Let's use my example from earlier. He would look at a learning objective. So let's say we have an anatomy lesson for grade 4 or grade 5, and they're learning about the human body, they're learning about the heart, because we had this example earlier. So we need to research the target audience. Who's our target audience here? So it's grade 4. What does an average grade 4 scholar, pupil, how does he best learn? What does he understand best? You're the expert in that. And then brainstorm prompt ideas. So what do I want to tell the AI in order to get a good idea for explaining the human heart to the average grade 4? And then we need to evaluate the prompt effectiveness. So what I'm putting into the AI, any AI, it doesn't have to be ChatGPT, we don't judge here. You use whatever AI you feel most comfortable with, and it doesn't have to be the paid version. You can do all of this on the free version. We will then evaluate whether ChatGPT has given us back what we want as an output, as in lessons. We then need to see, is this actually what I wanted? Is this what I've asked for? Or do I want to refine it? Do I want to say, no, actually now I want the whole lesson plan for the next 2 years, because AI can do that. I don't want to just look at the human heart. I want to have 50 more lesson plans for the next 2 years to help me to integrate this all the time. I then want to put it into my diary to remind me every single week that I need to integrate these lessons. I then want to have timed reminders. I then want to have lots and lots of drawings. I then want to refine the drawings because they're not appropriate for my school. My school is in a different area. We teach differently here. So all of those things can go into your prompt. And then at the end, once we're happy with what we've put into the AI, we can monitor whether this is still the same thing, and we can adjust it. Remember, the AI is a machine. So there is no judgment on me asking 10 different questions because I'm still not happy. AI has got a lot of patience. It's a machine. But that's the beauty of it. We can ask as many questions, as many different questions, until we are happy. These machines are here to help us. Okay, my favorite quote of all time is this one that you can see on your screen right now. If I never say another thing for as long as I live, this will be it. I need you to code like a programmer, think like a psychologist, write like a linguist. What does that actually mean? That means we need to be very precise in our language. We need to code like a programmer. 1 + 1 = 2. That's the basics of programming. numbers. Okay, so how can we be as precise as a programmer? We need to understand rudimentary programming. In my worldview, children should be taught programming as early as possible. It doesn't matter whether they're ever going to use it or not, but it's a type of thinking that gets introduced. Think like a programmer. Think very precise. Don't use too many words. Don't use too little words. Code like a programmer. And then psychologists, well, I think every teacher needs to be a psychologist already. If they can't think like that, they wouldn't have become teachers. You need to make it easy for your pupils. We can all remember a teacher that we particularly liked, and that teacher probably understood us very well. So you are already psychologists, each in your own little schools and your own little classrooms. And we need to write like a linguist. So you have the advantage of speaking and writing Arabic fluently. Arabic is a very rich language. And naturally, you are already linguists by the mere fact that you speak both English and Arabic, and possibly even one or two more languages that I wouldn't know about. So that's the basics. And that's all you need to remember for right now. Code like a programmer, think like a psychologist, write like a linguist. Be rich in your language, be rich in your thinking, and be very precise in what you input into AI. Okay, what's in the future for AI? So I've given you a brief timeline here of the next 1 to 10 years. I think I have been too conservative in my assessment. I think it will progress quicker. I think the next 10 years are going to be the most exciting 10 years that we have ever seen since the last revolution, the Industrial Revolution in the 1880s, 1890s in the UK and across Europe, where amazing things happened in very little time. Now we're going to see it in even shorter time. I was speaking to a teacher the other day and I said, what would you say if I say within the next 5 years, you will have humanoid robotics almost everywhere? So in shops, you might see robots helping you. You might have self-driving cars within 5, 6 years, possibly. So the taxis that pick you up might be self-driving. All of that is completely possible. And remember, within 18 months to 2 years, AI will be more clever than humans. That's a big, big statement. What can a machine do that's more clever than humanity? Quite a lot in my world. And I've already seen what's happened over the last 6 months. This is going to speed up, not slow down. So now is the time where I urge everybody to be intelligent, know as much as you possibly can about AI. You are in the privileged position of being a teacher. You are the ones teaching the next generation how to learn, what to learn, and then there will need to be self-learning, because one profession isn't going to be enough. Things are going to happen very, very quickly. Okay, so prompt engineering and the future of education. Prompt engineering is one of the most important skills. With a good prompt, you can create your lesson plans, you can set up a new company, you can create a new machine, you can teach your children, you can plant your garden. I was just speaking to some students the other day who had developed a system for gardening in Oman. Amazing. I'm a gardener myself, so I love gardening. Amazing invention. It doesn't happen as of yet. It wasn't existing. It's a new invention. So now we can go into an AI app and it will tell us exactly by the soil sample what to plant, how to plant, when to plant. And it all started with just one prompt. A good prompt by a team of 3 young gentlemen at one of the local universities. And they did win a prize. What does it mean for you, though, as teachers here in Oman? So it means teachers becoming AI leaders. And that's not scary at all. That's incredibly rich, enriching, because it means for you as teachers, you won't have to be teacher tired. My teaching friends always use that word, teacher tired. Oh, it's Thursday evening, I'm teacher tired. Meaning you're so exhausted from teaching, and teaching is exhausting. From teaching the next generation, you have no more energy for your family, you just want to go to bed early. And that's not life. Life is something where you are well rested, where you've got time to do things, and where tasks that can be automated, because that's all AI is, a form of automation, can be delegated to AI. And agents are the way forward to help you in that. So good prompt writing is the basis of any AI agent. So conservatively, my assumption is that everybody's admin workload can be reduced between around 35% to even 50%. So that means lesson planning, that means grading, that means workload that can be automated. I personally think it can be enhanced, but that depends on how good your prompts are. So there's an amazing opportunity pipeline ahead for teachers to lead. Teachers need to be at the forefront of this AI revolution. And I'm so grateful that the ministry is so forward thinking in bringing me here to teach you about this. So the transition for teachers is they're going to be mentors, they're going to be content creators, they're going to be AI guides. So the task for you as teachers is no small task. You need to be better than your students. We all know how quickly quite young kids pick up on technology. You will need to be a step ahead. That's a tall order, but completely possible if you jump on the bandwagon now. The early adopters, we all know, we call them early adopters in the technology world, are the ones that normally lead the field. So I would like for every single person here on this presentation today to be an early AI adopter. All right, big words. Let's humanize AI. To me, AI is my best friend. I have designed so many AI agents over the last 12 to 18 months. I can't even count them anymore, for many different companies, for many different projects. And for any life challenge, there's normally an AI agent that can be developed to help you with that. The other day, I invented something that can interrogate my diary. I'm a diarist. I write a lot. That's how I unburden my mind in every morning. So eventually I thought I built myself an agent, because any data is just that, data, numbers, can be interrogated. Is there a recurring theme? Is there something that I can learn about the writing that I've done over the years? Is there something that I should maybe address? And that then led to the creation of an AI agent that is somebody that I can use instead of a coach. So I've got a coaching AI agent. I've got a teaching AI agent. The other week, I just learned that Google is releasing a new way of learning Arabic. I'm currently learning Arabic again. And I think this time it has made progression in teaching, where the promise is to speak simple sentences within 3 weeks, because it's individualized learning and lesson plans. Amazing. All right. So why do we need this now? Well, I think we've always needed it. But now technology is at a level where we can code in human language. We don't need to code anymore. We have human language and can do a whole load of things that we weren't able to do before. It's an amazing chance for pupils in more remote areas. I remember when I first came to Oman hearing stories of these amazing opportunities for pupils from the more remote areas where helicopters were sent to bring pupils to the class years and years ago. That is completely possible in the AI age, that even in remote areas, this can be taught because the technology is there. We've all lived through COVID. We now know what is possible in the AI age. Okay, so coming back to you as the teachers, what can we do? What can we teach you? Lesson generation. I have many teaching friends, as I've already told you, and the other week somebody asked me to help them with a specialized lesson plan for a young pupil who is a little disadvantaged because he's on the spectrum, he's on the autism spectrum, and she wanted a lesson generation agent that could help her do perfect lessons for this particular pupil, do the grading, but also create sample lessons for other teachers, so the other teachers could see what was necessary, what had to be done, what could be done with this particular pupil. And in less than 2 hours, we had everything created, content for the next 6 to 8 months, all done, meaning this particular lady can now sit down with this pupil and really supervise. I can't remember whether it was a boy or a girl, but it doesn't really matter. Really supervise him or her and concentrate on the thing that she does best, encouraging, checking that he or she has understood, write summaries. AI is much better at writing summaries than any teacher could ever be, because it's content creation. It looks at every single thing that we as humans may have forgotten. It can be immediately translated from Arabic to English, from English to Arabic, meaning you now suddenly have got options to involve experts and people from other specialized agencies that might not be Arabic speaking. So the options there are endless. Okay, I've created us, I want us to really start looking at prompt structures and how to create sheets, how to create structures, how to write a prompt. And I've given you a few examples here. I'm absolutely certain that you will have other examples that you would like us to look at. I've got somebody monitoring our chat. I'm afraid I can't see the chat here, but I'm wondering whether we've got some good questions already. If you haven't posted any questions in the chat yet, I would encourage you to do that now, and then we can see. My colleague here has got a couple of examples. Let's just check whether he's able to share screen, and maybe we can talk about a creation of a simple prompt. So if you can just tell me when you're ready to share the screen, and then let's look at that. So a show of hands, please, when you're ready to see the chat screen and when you're ready to see the prompt screen. Okay, all right, lovely. I'm going to go and give the control to my colleague here so that he can. Are you able to share your screen yet? Okay, perfect.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, so I'm going to elaborate more what Dr. Ota said and put it into practice. I'm using ChatGPT, but you can use any LLM to use this practice, even the free version. If you want to use the prompt engineering in a good way, we have to, for example, the first thing to give ChatGPT a role. We can tell him that you are a teacher or fourth grade teacher. For example, let's say act like a fourth grade teacher. Now we have given him a role. Now, what do we want him to do? We want him to I want you to make a lesson plan for what type of lesson. For example, if you are teaching math, science, Arabic, or any subject. For example, let's say lesson plan for solar system. And in the end, you should explain what tone you want this lesson. Do you want it clear and simple, guiding step-by-step guide? Okay, let's say step by step guide. And you can use the same method in Arabic. Let's see. So now the ChatGPT is going to give us the lesson plan for exploring the solar system, the title, duration, objectives. It is in English, but simply if you want to make it in Arabic, you can. Is my voice clear? If you want to write it in Arabic or translate it in Arabic, you can easily ask him to translate it to Arabic. Yeah, you can explain. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a perfect example of what a prompt should look like. And this is very, very basic. And what I love about the prompt that my colleague here has created just now, he's used all the core elements. And that is, you need to think like a programmer. Everything was very precise. You need to give it a role, fourth grade teacher. You need to give it a purpose, make a lesson plan. You need to give it a subject, solar system, and you need to give it a function, step-by-step guide. I love also that everything was able to be translated into Arabic immediately. Most of you teach in Arabic. Okay, so the main purpose here is to teach in Arabic. By the way, the AI progression in Arabic is racing ahead. I keep hearing about new developments all the time, and I'm so proud to be working in a region that has fully embraced this. In the UAE, in Saudi, here in Oman, I've never met better AI engineers in my life. So this is amazing. If you've got any questions about this, please ask them as well. Put them in the chat so that we can check what you have understood, what you haven't understood, what you'd like us to talk about more. All of that is possible. We've got another hour and 15 minutes, and I want to spend as much time on prompt creation as we possibly can. Because remember, this is just the foundation. This is just the basis. We want you to eventually be able to create your own AI agents. Okay, so let's go back to our screen and let's look at this. I'm just doing that now. Just bear with us here. Yeah, okay, you should be able to see my screen now. Thank you so much. So the solar system story we've just done, okay? So you've seen in real life a real prompt practice. We didn't particularly look at this before. This was completely live. Each and every single one of you is able to do that. Give it a role, give it a subject, give it a tone, tell him the output, and then the AI, the more you use it, it will learn from you. It will take on the role of you. It is your extended arm, your extended mind, your extended teaching assistant, and that's is how you should think about it. Okay. So the solar system story we've got a few more examples here. If you want to look at any of the others, please shout loudly or put in the chat and look at other examples as well. So there are other examples here for secondary school, for middle school, for grade 6, for elementary. Even elementary isn't too early to start with this. I just had a chat with somebody I work with, and they have started with their 6-year-old to look at basic prompts, and that's not too early by any means. So I'm wondering whether we should look at another prompt in a little while, and also if we have any suggestions that you might want us to look at. We've got somebody monitoring chat, so if you ask us lots of questions or give us suggestions of other prompts, we can look at that. Okay, so the task now is for you to write a prompt as well. So in your own time, please open up whatever AI you're using. We're not telling you to use any particular AI, just use the one that you're most comfortable with. And sometimes that's also a learning lesson in itself, because you can compare different AI models. Which one do you feel more happy with? Which one gives you the better options? Which one needs to be paid for, which doesn't need to be paid for? We're not going to be prescriptive in any way there. You choose whatever works best for you. But the basic prompt engineering is all the same. So write an AI prompt now. So choose a topic. And work with me here as you're doing that. Maybe have a split screen and start using your AI. Write an AI prompt on any topic, perhaps something close to your heart, a subject that you're teaching, or a level, an age that you're teaching. And then the next step, the prompt structure. Give it structure, so details. First the topic, then the detail, like we did it with the planets and the solar system. So if you're teaching science, for example, biology, then the details, i.e. the human heart. Then give it a topic, grade. Which grade are you teaching at the moment in this prompt? So it needs to know which language is appropriate. It cannot be the adult version, because adults obviously will understand different language. And it will then need a prompt from you in terms of what visuals, what multimedia do you have available. Maybe you have very little materials available in your school. That is okay. We can work with that, because AI will come up with more ideas for you. I do it all the time. When I teach in different teams and groups. I had a group the other day with somebody from a certain ministry that I'm not going to name, of course, said, I don't like AI, I don't like engineering, I don't like IT, I don't want to use any of that. And that's fair enough. But by the end of the course, this gentleman was so in love with the topic that he started using it and actually set up an amazing project. So I'm happy to be challenged here. Okay, so let's look at subject-based prompt showcases. We would love to hear some volunteer prompts, and I'm not sure if somebody is monitoring the chat. It can give me an idea, and then we can look at that. And then we can, at the end of the lesson, we can look at a live showcase, and I can guide you through making your prompt better, or maybe changing it slightly and give you guidance. So have something ready if you want to. Okay, so good prompts all have something in common. They have a strong prompt structure. They have local context. So we want prompts that showcase what is needed here in Oman, and language that is appropriate to this particular region, not London, not Europe, here in Oman, here in the Gulf. That's what we want. And we love creative use of prompts. So ideas that work here, ideas that do not work here. So be inventive, you're teachers. And the same way that you are creating new context in your class, we want you to do that also with prompt engineering. There's many classroom applications for good prompt engineering. There's personalized learning. I told you earlier my story of my teaching friend who has got a special needs child that need a very personalized plan that she shared with all of her colleagues, so everybody knows what's happening there. There's continuous assessment going on, so people can recognize if a child is underperforming or overperforming. I mean, AI is the age where overperforming children can be very quickly recognized, and that's beautiful. I was speaking the other day with somebody, a parent, who has a young boy that is on the special needs scalar as well. But I've always noticed what amazing ideas this young boy has. And we were looking at a system where we can encourage these amazing ideas because they were all amazing. He's just a little ahead of his time. But that's where AI can be actively involved and foster the ideas. AI is ideal for new ideas. Concept reinforcement also, so you can use prompts to reinforce what you've already taught and make sure your students understand.
Okay.
All right, so let's work on a real problem. We all have real problems. I like real problems, the solving of real problems. So if somebody could give me a real problem, perhaps on the chat, and then we can try and solve that with AI-powered tools. Don't know if we've got a real prompt that can be. Is anybody monitoring the chat? Okay. So what we'll do again is we'll use my colleague's prompt screen here and perhaps a real-life problem that somebody has posed. We don't have any.
We have questions.
We have questions. Okay, let's look at those. Okay.
I have some questions regarding the use of generating videos, using prompts.
Okay, so prompts is the basis of it all, but if I understand the question correctly, it is a question about using AI agents. Is that correct?
I can answer that.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Ms. Amal Salmi asked a question. I use AI to generate image or video, but when I used English language, the image is more clear than Arabic.
Oh,
That's
wonderful.
because
Okay,
the data is used for training.
Yes,
The models are mostly in English. Yeah, that's why. They use little Arabic, so it is more clear in
Oh,
English.
great. Okay, super.
There is another question from Amna. Or not questions, a comment. محتاجين هذه التطبيقات لاستخدام للعملية التعليمية. طبعا شات جي بي تي مسموح انكم تستخدموه. نفس الشيء اللي يسأل هل التربية تسمح بهذا النوع من التحضير، وفي الأخير التحضير ممكن تستخدموا أي استراتيجية وتستعينوا بالنماذج اللغوية مثل شات جي بي تي وغيره. الدكتورة تسألكم إذا عندكم أي سؤال أو أي ملاحظة أو عندكم برومبس تريدون نقربه مع بعض ممكن تحطوه في الشات. ويفضل إنه لما حد يريد يسأل يرفع إيده عشان يكون واضح أكثر. Okay.
There's some amazing questions here that I can see
There is
already.
something also about the ethical. They are asking about
Love
the
that
ethical.
question. I
Okay.
love that question. So thank you very much for whoever asked the question about ethical AI. That is probably one of the most important questions, and I'd love to answer this question if I may. So ethical AI is the most important thing. And that can only be addressed by good teachers and good teaching. And you, the teachers, are at the forefront of that. It is you who will stand in front of the class and say, this is what you can put into AI. This is what you cannot put into AI. And that's how that normally gets addressed. So good prompt engineering, this is what you put in, you give it a subject, you give it a tone. You do not put any personal information into the AI in terms of names, in terms of privileged information. That is unethical. So in the same way that we teach children to behave in the playground, not to hit other pupils, to be polite in your language, to ask nicely if they want something, and the same way we teach them how to deal with AI. I hope I've answered that question. Let's just look at another okay, I'm just trying to find another question here.
Just, Doctor, we have Nasib here.
Yes.
Do you have a question, Nasib? Please, if you have any question, please enable your mic and you can speak.
Thank you, Professor. You have already answered my question. I asked a question regarding the ethicals. What considerations should be taken into account when using AI? Yes, you have already answered my question. Thank you so much.
Why don't we go over to the next question then? Because there's somebody here has asked a really brilliant question. Doesn't that make us think less, research less when we use AI, which in the long term will affect children and adult development? In a way, it makes us lazy. That's a question. It's not my opinion. It's the question. It's a good question. I don't think AI makes us lazy. I think it makes us more intelligent because we research much, much, much more. There's much more call on us to behave in an ethical way. There's much more call on us to research more. It can help us to automate certain tasks. My personal opinion is it doesn't make us lazy. In fact, I've never worked harder than right now in terms of developing more systems, developing more agents. But it's a personal opinion, and you're, of course, entitled to that opinion. Okay, we've got another question here from, let me see who's asked that.
What prompts we can present it?
Yes, of course we can. Let me just stop sharing here. Oh, I'm not sharing. You can share.
Okay, so Ms. Shema, post the prompts. We can look at it together. Act like an educated parent, suggest an action plan for a grade 11 girl in Oman She's smart in life, but gets easily distracted in school exam. She is barely interested in learning, but she is very smart in real life skills. Next year, she is grade 12, and she has to score a good grade to be enrolled in a higher education program. Otherwise, she will stay at home. She chose a scientific stream in the English language. She writes very incoherently and so many missing words. Okay, let's see the result. I'm using here, by the way, ChatGPT 4.0. So here you can see the result. It's giving you the whole plan, A to Z. Understanding the root of the problem, academic support plan, the management and motivation strategy, personal mentorship, family role, leverage school resources, plan B, and realistic encouragement. And here gives you the summary. So if we can break the prompt that she wrote, act like an educated parent. So she is giving the ChatGPT or the LLM a role. Then she is asking him what she wants, suggest an action plan. She chose scientific. So she did two things. She gave him a role and then asked for suggested an action plan. As we said before, you can translate this the whole result into any language. Just try translate to Arabic or translate to any other language. Or maybe if you want any other elaboration for any points, you can say, for example, make in details a plan for goals or understanding the root of the problem. If anyone has the free version, he can copy and paste the same prompts and see the results and compare it with the paid one. Thank you.
All right. This is excellent. Thank you so much for your prompt suggestions. These were really, really good questions. I'm a little limited on time. I think we've got until 12 o'clock. So let's just go ahead and let's look at a couple of other things as well. Classroom challenges. The last prompt I really liked. So act as an educated parent. We've got a problem, which is the young girl that is advanced in her thinking, but she struggles with clear writing. And there were a lot of really good elements in this prompt. So it's been given a role, it's been given a topic. It even came up from the prompt, you could see it even came up with different suggestions. It's already thinking. Maybe her level of thinking is actually even more advanced. That's why she struggles to write it all down. And that was brilliant. So there's a whole load of guidance there that we saw already. Okay, so there's a whole load of other things that you are potentially able to use the AI for. Streamlining grading, translation, there's a whole load of things that are coming up. And capabilities for multilingual students, of course, very, very important in Oman with several different languages spoken in most schools, from what I understand. So I would very much like to use a real life problem, if we've got one that somebody can give us. And we want to look at more real life problems and really look at what you can do as teachers in order to address real life problems. So if you've got something in your school, maybe even related to extracurricular activities, if you've got any clubs that you would like to form, any ideas for other activities, ChatGPT or any AI is normally very good at that and developing bigger programs. And remember, whenever you're going out to raise funds for these things that might not be funded already, the better your paperwork is, the better your outline is. I have it myself when I go out and pitch for new projects. The better my background is, the better my slide set is, the better I can explain something to a potential investor, the more likely the money is going to flow. So that is going to be your new best friend. You don't have to spend weeks and months looking at lesson plans. AI can do that for you. Okay, so we've got a few creative prompt challenges. I have suggested some here. You can, of course, also suggest others yourself. If you have, please put it in the chat. So we could, for example, turn a lesson into a poem. We could turn a lesson into a quiz. We could turn a lesson into a story. We could turn a lesson into a song. All of that is possible. There's AI apps for that, free AI apps, which can do all of these things. You could, for example, look at a poem in the style of William Shakespeare. You could look into a poem into a style of a famous Arabic poet. You could do a quiz for year 2. You could do a quiz for year 8, if they still do quizzes at year 8. I don't know, but maybe they do. Any lesson needs to be enriched with something. Okay. So what's next for you? I would love for you to try at least one new AI tool this week. And if it's just crafting prompts after prompts, that would still make me really happy and feel that we've achieved the output from this lesson. But normally what I say, practice at least one prompt a day. If you've got an amazing idea on your mind that you're thinking about in your spare time, that's been on your mind for a long time, start with that. People love things that are close to their heart, and they tend to be the best ones to practice on, because it's a subject close to your heart. It's an idea that's close to your heart. So try with things like that, and then spend time on it. The other thing I would say is don't close your chats down. So the chats that you have, keep them going, give it more content, because in the same way that you're learning from AI, AI is learning from you, of course. It gets more specialized. The output will be better. I saw a question earlier in the chat that image creation was an issue for or challenge for somebody. So image creation is one of those things that is often criticized within AI. The different AI systems have got different outputs. I am a super user of AI. I use it every single day for almost everything in my line of work. I use it to teach my family. I use it to develop personal projects. I'm a sailor in my spare time. I'm currently planning to sail from Europe to Oman with a boat. So yes, I have built myself a tool for that. So start with something that's close to your heart. In terms of the output for graphics, the more you use it, the better it will get. The better your prompt is, the better the output will be. Graphic creation uses a lot of data. So in reality, if you want to use a lot of graphics, if you want to create second to none graphics, it might be an idea to use the paid version. Try it out for 1 month. If it isn't giving you what you want, then you can always cancel it, but try things out. So trial and error here. The graphics use a lot of data accordingly. It's only on the paid model, I think. Okay, so we've created a whole load of prompts today, which means you're ready to lead. The more practice you can give your prompts, the more you can lead and are able to lead your classroom. And you will have to be in the forefront. Before too long, children will pick up on it. You need to be the guiding force here. And that can only happen by you being as educated as you possibly can be in terms of prompt engineering. Okay, so my final slide is a big robotic assistant beside you and a small one that does all your other little tasks. And my ideal scenario would be to teach every single one of you how to create AI prompts, how to create AI agents, how to be super users of AI that will help you in your workload and really be the early adopters in your school. In my line of work, there's a phrase, in the technology world, there's a phrase that the early adopters win the race. So whoever is quick to catch on to a new technology, and this technology isn't going away, it's here to stay. It will take over most aspects in life, are the ones that win the race. So be that person at your school who teaches everybody else. Be the person at your school that everybody can go to and say, I've got an amazing idea, but I've got no idea where to start, how to put it into AI, how to flesh it out, how to make it into something practical, and how to go ahead. And my guess is that is what most people on this program should learn, how to help. AI is for sharing. AI is not for hogging information. In the AI age, the more we share, the more successful we're going to be, not the other way around. And the people that you take with you on this journey are going to be the people that you will probably spend most time with. Okay, I understand we have got a few next steps. One of them is an evaluation form. There's a certificate that's available from the ministry, and I think we have got a QR code that you can download to receive your certificates. Here it goes. And then the certificate will be emailed to you. There are many, many, many other options. Today was just a taster of what prompt engineering can do. But I would love to explore that with you. Feel free to connect with me also, either via LinkedIn on the QR codes that I'm showing you here. I'm always happy to hear amazing ideas that could be developed and put into practice because
sorry,
we all live
Doctor.
in the AI age.
There are questions in the chat if you...
Lovely.
may-
Okay, let's go to further questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at further questions. So I will address the questions in order that I've received them. So I've got a question here about artificial intelligence programs and application still require a monthly or annual subscription. Yes, that's probably true. The free version will only get you so far, but my honest answer is going to be AI is whatever you put into it. So if you want to use it more, you probably need the paid version, but obviously that's entirely up to everybody's own thinking about it and finances. If you want to really use AI in the way that it's meant to be, and you really want to become an expert, it's like putting your time into a big course at the university. Your degree wasn't free. You had to put in your effort. You had to give in your time. You had to cut down your socializing. You might not have had so much time for your family when you were studying. It's the same with AI. You get out what you put in. Okay, and then we have here somebody agreeing with me on being a linguist. Thank you very much. I can't see the name, but thank you so much for that comment. Then there's a question on AI tools used for generating photos like ChatGPT is not accurate when generating Omani character. Can you tell us why? Yes, I can. Yes. So the Arabic version of AI is still being developed. It's not quite at the level where it should be as of yet, but there are humongous efforts being plowed into the Arabic versions all over the Gulf. There are companies like G42, Core42 in the UAE, which are partnering with everybody all over the world in order to advance progress. So you will see big changes over the next few months, and there's more to come. Then there is a question here. A suggestion: since artificial intelligence entered our work quickly, how can the classrooms in the future be adapted? I suppose that should be. And what is the future vision? Gosh, my future vision of the classroom is a classroom that is enabled robotic assistants. You saw it on my picture of a teacher not having one robotic assistant, but two, and a whole range of assistants, from screens, from robotic assistants, from AI generated lessons, from automated grading. The world's your oyster. You've got a good idea. The likelihood is that it can be developed very quickly. Remember what happened in the Industrial Revolution took many years, took 20, 30, 40, 50 years. This is going to happen much quicker. And remember what I said earlier, artificial intelligence is going to supersede, meaning it's going to be faster than human intelligence within 18 months. 18, not 18 years, 18 months. AI is going to be more intelligent than us. So we're going to see humongous changes. What we've seen now has been a snippet, maybe 10% of what's possible. So the more educated we are, the more we are able to use this new technology, the better. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then we've got a comment here about the prompt about the educated girl.
Doctor, just a second.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. We will find the form in the chat. So you have just 5 minutes to go to the form and register your name to get the certificate.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بالنسبة لشهادة الحضور ومشاركة في هذه الورشة راح تحصلون QR وبيكون موجود في الدردشة، فيمكن أن تعملوا عليها صورة وتكتبوا بياناتكم الخاصة وتحصلوها بالبريد الإلكتروني الخاص بكم. شكرا لكم. لما تيجي تحطون البيانات عندكم فقط 5 دقائق وراح تصدق إن شاء الله على الشهادة. ما ممكن إنكم أنتوا تفتحوا شهادتكم المشاركة وتحطوا بياناتكم وتتركوا البيانات وبدون ما تعملوا سند، فراح تنغلق عليكم وما راح تحصلوا الشهادة. هذا فقط للتوضيح.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for helping me with the admin here. There's a lot of you online, and obviously we want to address as many questions as we possibly can. There's a really good comment here that there should be some criteria when allowing students to use AI. Absolutely. And you as the educators, you as the teachers are of primary importance to teaching how to use AI responsibly. So just to give you some real life examples, in a lot of companies in Europe and in the US, you're not actually able to use AI. It's completely forbidden. You can't install it, you can't use it for exactly that reason. because company sensitive information might get out there. And then by means of reverse engineering, anybody could find out your trade secrets, anybody could find out personally identifiable information. So I see that as potentially coming in education as well. It's just a matter of time. I hope that has answered your question. Okay. The next question is from Nazib Al-Omrani. How can we teach and assess critical thinking skills in the age of AI? Okay. Brilliant question. I'm afraid I only have 1 minute left to answer that, so excuse me for being prompt. Again, it's up to you. Nobody is more important right now than teachers with the amazing skills in enabling critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills are more important than anything else right now for the new generation, for the young generation. They need to be critical when they look at anything, because it might be something called AI hallucinations. That is a proper term. So it's up to you as teachers to have lessons that enable children to critically assess AI output. That would be a brilliant lesson that needs to be repeated very regularly. I think we're almost running out of time. So I'm going to say thank you so much for giving me your valuable time. I hope you've learned a little bit. All we were able to do is just give a very brief overview. There is so much more that I would love to talk to you with it. And thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you all of you for your participations, questions, chat, and on behalf of all of you, we would like to thank Otte for her efforts in raising awareness about AI in education, and hope that we can meet her in the coming workshops also. We'll keep you updated. And here is an invitation to visit the portal, education portal, moe.gov.on. And at the same time, would like to invite you for the digital services awareness. I mean, the channel, the YouTube channel that we made to raise the awareness about all the digital services, including AI in education. So thank you all, and see you next time.
مع وصولنا لختام ورشتنا، يتقدم المجتمع المهني للذكاء الاصطناعي لكم بجزيل الشكر على الحضور الفاعل خلال الورشة، ونسعد بمعرفتكم إذا كانت الورشة قد أجابت على تساؤلاتكم، كما نأمل أن تكون المخرجات شكلت إضافة معرفية قيمة لكم. ونود التنويه برابط التسجيل المتوفر في الدردشة، والذي من خلاله سيتم مشاركتكم في كل المستجدات. الرابط أقوم حاليا برفعه في الدردشة، الآن هي متوفرة. نلقاكم بإذن الله في لقاء واتساعا، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وبالنسبة لشهادة المشاركة فهي متوفرة حاليا عبر الدردشة. يمكنكم إضافة اسمكم بالكامل باللغة العربية وبريدكم الإلكتروني، وستحصلون على هذه الشهادة مباشرة وفورا عبر البريد المسجل. شكرا لكم جزيلا، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.